Hi everybody, welcome back to collecting Canadian Cavalry and Armour. Today we're going to take a look at the badges of the 14th Canadian Hussars. A wonderful unit, of course, another one that we lost in '67 during the reorganization. These guys rode in Saskatchewan. Nice place, wonderful place for cavalry, and which they started off as the 27th Canadian Light Horse, the 27th Light Horse, and we'll take a look at those badges. Now, most of the information that we're gleaning is from Chris Brooker's book, Volume 2, Canadian Badges, Brooker's Badges of the Canadian Army. Again, guys, reference material, so important. So, let's take a look at these badges, and I'll explain some of their history as we go through. The regiment was formed as a 27th Light Horse in 1910. They remained that until 1920. They originally started off with 3 squadrons, one squadron in Maple Creek, one in Swift Current, and one in Moose Jaw. The Moose Jaw squadron, C Squadron, was originally B Squadron of the 16th Canadian Light Horse. And a short while later, they added another squadron and Pennant. This is all in Saskatchewan. But in 1913, C Squadron was disbanded. D Squadron moved to Moose Jaw and became regimental headquarters. Must have been something interesting going on. Why they wouldn't just rename C Squadron, I don't know. Anyway, guys, let's take a look here. These are collar badges for the 27th Light Horse. It's beautiful badges, kind of a coppery looking color. Wonderful badges, very nice. Looking forward to getting the cap badge. You'll see on the back here they're fully struck up, but there's no apparent maker marks. Again, take a look at Mazaeus' book of Canadian Militia badges. These things are featured in there. In 1920, the regiment was renamed the 14th Canadian Light Horse. And as you can see, the badges changed as well. They have the rearing or bucking bronco here with the regimental motto, Free and Fearless, and the name of the regiment on the bottom banner. You can see here they've got the brass shoulder title, 14th CLH for Canadian Light Horse. Unfortunately, this one does not have any lugs on it, but I'm happy to pick it up. They're a little bit harder to find, these ones, but once they're laying in the frame in my stack there, everything looks pretty good. You can see here they even came out with the nice button. This one's a little discolored. Again, this is where we get the some of the guys say you shouldn't polish anything. Maybe if I polish this, it will look better. I don't know. Maybe I'm just driving some people crazy. Anyway, the regiment, 1941, the regiment mobilized as the 14th Canadian Hussars. They went to England, and at the time, the infantry brigade reconnaissance squadrons had been disbanded. So when the regiment got there, they absorbed these guys into their unit and experienced a change of unit name to the 8th Canadian Recce Regiment, and we're going to take a look at that badge in a minute. But you can see here very nice brass badges here to the 14th Canadian Light Horse. There is an officer's version of the cap badge where the scrolls here are in silver. Very nice, very nice badges. You can see in the back here, fully struck up. This one is not maker marked, but many times when you look, the maker's mark will be right up in here. So guys, this is the badges for the 14th Canadian Light Horse. So here we have the cap badge, button, and a shoulder title for the 8th Canadian Reconnaissance Regiment. Now, these badges, very sought after, harder to find. If you pick one up, you're can expect to pay anywhere from about $900 to $1,200 for one of these ones. That's why it's important that you do the research, make sure you're getting a good badge. Now, you'll notice there's a brass overlay on the silver maple leaf on this. On the back, you'll see it's kind of struck up there, but you can see the pins here where that overlay is attached. That's important. They came up with a Regimental Association reunion badge. Looks very similar, but on the back it's absolutely solid back there. You don't see any pins. Don't mistake a reunion badge for an original. because they're not worth anywhere near what the original badges are worth. Now, there was an interim officer's badge that came out, exactly the same, but along the bottom there was a separate banner that said Canada on it. Very, very hard to find. With any luck, you guys will be able to find one, pick it up, but you'll be expected to pay a heck of a lot more. But again, harder to find. So here we see the button. That would be probably for the pocket on the officer's service dress, 8th Canadian Recce or 8th Recce. And down here we see there's been very many different patterns of this, stitching and that type of thing, to get a real good idea of the different shoulder titles of the different manufacturers. Pick up Bill Alexander's book, The Fabric of War. Fantastic, fantastic book, wonderful volume, full of information. Bill's a great guy too. You can bump into him at a lot of shows, and he'll take the time to talk to you, and maybe autograph your book. Anyway, so there's the back. So here we go. After the war, okay, so this was the 8th Canadian Recce Regiment from 1941 to 1946. In 1946, they were redesignated the 8th Armored Car Regiment, 14th Canadian Hussars, but they kept the same badges. Okay, guys, same badges. They were those for 3 years. In 1949, they just had another switch in title, became the 14th Canadian Hussars, 8th Armored Car Regiment, and then in 58 to 67, or excuse me, 65, they were the 8th Canadian Hussars. So now let's take a look at those badges. So like I said, guys, 1949 they became the 14th Canadian Hussars, 8th Armored Car Regiment. But you can see the new badges here. Again, it's the same pattern with the bucking bronco, but the bottom banner says 14th Canadian Hussars. And I know you guys are sharp and you're going to say, hey, what the heck, you have the same collar badges and button. That's because the collar badges and the buttons did not change when they went back or became the 14th Canadian Hussars. They used the old stuff from the 14th Canadian Light Horse. So I just wanted to make mention of that. And again, guys, fully struck up on the back. This particular one here, no maker mark up there. Sometimes, like I said, you'll find them, William Scully or something like that. The officers' badges are not reported to have been made, or perhaps it's not found. But so a nice, beautiful brass badge, very nice badge. With the bucking bronco, that really brings in that cavalry heritage that they had. And down here you can see the shoulder title. It's a nice black, gold on black, 14th Canadian Hussars. There were a couple of different patterns. Again, pick up Bill Alexander's book. Tons of information, guys. It was just a wonderful book. And like I said, Bill's a wonderful guy too. So here's a look at the back. 14th Canadian Hussars, the shoulder title. These wouldn't be considered rare, but you don't see them every day. So if you find one and you just pick it up, you'll probably pay, $20-30, something like that for it. So anyway, guys, 14th Canadian Hussars. And again, sadly, another regiment that we lost in the reorganization in 1965. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick little episode, and I hope you found it informative. Like I said, the Canadian Light Horse guys, good stuff, especially the 8th Recce. Badges, a little, pretty hard to find. They can get very expensive, but that's why you got to make sure you get the reference material to make sure you're spending like $1,000, $1,200, whatever it's going to end up costing you for an original 8th Recce. You got to make sure it's original. That's kind of a real bite in the patootie if you spend that kind of cash and find out you have a phony. Anyway, guys, please like and subscribe. That would help us out a lot. And happy collecting.